What's up guys, my name's Tsunamods and welcome to this very late episode of modding Final Fantasy VII. This is going to be the fourth part in this tutorial series, and I'm going to try and explain to you now exactly why this episode is late. Main reason being is my main project, Project Echo S, has started to get a lot of attention over the last few months. And it's getting quite big, so it does need most of my attention. But other than that, the previously only known mobile game, Mobius Final Fantasy, has actually been released on Steam. And as well as that, they actually held a Final Fantasy VII Remake event recently, and that came with a new Cloud model, which you can currently see in front of you. Of course, you're going to notice that this is not the Cloud from Crisis Core that we were doing in the previous videos. I am actually going to start using this one instead because, other than the face, it was genuinely a much higher quality model. So I'll give you a quick look at this new one. It is going to be a little difficult because the click in my mouse wheel is not working right now, so I can't control. Oh, okay. What do you? Oh, okay. It only worked the one time. It just wanted to try and embarrass me. But we have a new arm guard here, along with the glove, and I think this is far better looking than just your average leather glove that he would usually wear. The outfit itself hasn't changed an awful lot. It is a black outfit now instead, and it really does look a lot more like real material, which I find is very nice. The belt, I believe I taken from the G-Bike Cloud. And if I keep scrolling down here, the boots are ever so slightly different as well. Not everybody's going to like these boots, but they do have more of a sort of soldier look to them. Sort of steel toe cap metal sort of thing. The shoulder pads I have kept from the... This one would be from Crisis Core, and this one is from G-Bike as well. I know that Cloud originally only wears the one shoulder pad, but I believe that for some reason he seems to look better with two. I'm not sure whether it's just because I've been used to it for quite a while now, but I'm going to do it with the two. If anybody doesn't like it, you can always just take it off. It's very simple to do. The head as well is from the G-Bike model because the head itself from the Mobius one was absolutely terrible. But I did keep the hair from Mobius. I believe that the hair has a much more realistic, lifelike sort of resemblance to it because it has the real transparency, and a lot of the strands seem to be sort of actual strands. It is ever so slightly different to his original hairstyle, but I'm going to put it in and see what it looks like. So, what this tutorial is going to consist of is I'm going to be showing you how to get each piece that we have separated and textured out of Blender and into Kimera. And the way we're going to do this is we need two other programs. We need a program called Wings 3D, all links will be in the description for everything you need in this video, and another program called Pcreator. The reason for needing these is you need to export every piece from Blender as an object file, and then import the object file into Wings 3D to then export it again, or essentially convert it into a 3DS file. I know that Blender can export as 3DS, except when you do this, for some reason, the textures seem to mess up and it just does not work properly. So it seems like an unnecessary step, and it's a lot of extra work, but it does need doing if you want your model to be the best it can possibly be. Once you've finished doing the 3DS in the Wings 3D, all you've got to do then is import them into Pcreator to create the P files, which will then be allowed to be loaded into Kimera. So the way we do this is, first of all, we have to delete every piece on the project except the one piece that you're going to be exporting, because I've only ever found a way to export one piece at a time, and it's not even a case of highlight one and export it. There can't be anything else here. So first of all, I'm going to go onto my desktop and I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to name it new cloud. And you will soon see why this is important. Okay, so I'm going to press A to highlight everything, and I'm going to hold Shift and right-click my boot twice to deselect it, and hit Delete to get rid of everything else. Now this is the left foot, I believe? Yes, this is the left foot. So I'm going to highlight it, I'm going to click Object, Transform, and Origin to Geometry to make sure that the cursor is exactly in line with the foot. By the way, in case it's too late for me to say this, this video will continue exactly from where the last video was. I have already got this new model up to the same point as where we had left off before. I had already told you to do the origin and geometry thing in here, but it seems that I forgot to do that in one or two of the places. So ignore that, but we're going to go to File and Export, and we're going to choose Object. We're going to go to the desktop, and we're going to choose New Cloud, and this is the left foot. Okay. And then we're going to press Ctrl Z to bring everything back, well, a few times. Press A to deselect and A to select again everything, and do the same with the other foot. Yep, Object to Geometry, File, Export as Object, and this is the right foot. Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Now I'll do one more piece and then I will skip the video because this is exactly the same thing maybe 15 or 16 times, so I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. I will skip the video after the next one. On this one, I had actually used a mirror for this so I could make sure both sides were identical, which I can actually remove now, because even though I don't have both the legs now, when it comes to Kimera, I just import the same piece twice and I just mirror it, and it works exactly the same way. So highlight everything, deselect that one, delete everything, transform, Object to Geometry, File, Export, oops, File, Export as Object. This is the right lower leg. Okay, for some reason that has not worked. Let's try it again. File, Object, right lower leg, go. Okay, so from this point I am going to skip the video, and the next time I talk to you it will be finished. Okay, so now every part has been individually exported as an object file. I tend to delete each piece as I've gone through just so I know that that piece is finished. Now, we do not need Blender open for the rest of this. So, yes, we can quit this, and our new folder now is full of all the pieces that we're going to need. Okay, so the next thing on the list to do is we're going to open Wings 3D here. Right, now that Wings is open, we're going to go to File, Import, Object. Click OK, and then we are going to go to the New Cloud folder, and we're going to start at the top with Chest. Now once the chest is imported, we're going to click this little red icon here, and we're going to right click, no, we're not going to right click, we're going to click this one, so just so you, if it's colored, then you know it's highlighted. And once it's highlighted, we're going to go to Tools, Center, and All, and that will take it over here. And we're also going to click, we're going to try and find the bounding box. Here it is, Tool, Bounding Box, and Bounding Box. Before I do that, I'm just going to see if, can I, right, scale BB to selection all. No, okay, that's not quite working the way I thought it could. We're going to open the bounding box, and we're going to mess around with the sizes until we can get it basically as small around the object as we can. That still seems too big, so I'm going to make all these 0 and replace this with 5. It's kind of hard to explain exactly what the bounding box does, but you'll be able to see what it does later on. And believe me, it really does, it's important. So once you've got that finished, you want to go to File, Export, and we're going to export as a 3DS. We click Yes, and in the new cloud folder, we're going to keep everything in this folder, and make sure that you name everything exactly the same way, so you don't sort of forget where you were or you don't lose anything. File and New, don't save your changes. File, import a object file, OK, and we're going to choose hair. We're going to click the hair. Oops. Tools, center, all. Okay, it wasn't clicked. Tools, center, all. And it should actually be okay for the bounding box this time. I am going to try and make it a little smaller, because the better fit that it is, the easier life is going to be. So there we go, that's a nice sort of fit there. Okay. File and export as 3DS. Okay, and this is the hair. File and New, don't save. File, import, object, OK, head. Open. You want to select the head. You know when it's selected because this bar here will be open. Tools, center, all. The bounding box seems absolutely fine to me, so File, Export as 3DS, OK, and head. Okay, so just like last time, I'm going to be skipping the video here because I'm going to be doing the exact same thing 15 or 16 times, and I will join you again in a few moments when I have all of these finished. Okay, so that's all of them now imported into Wings and then exported again as a 3DS file. So we may now close Wings altogether. It is no longer needed. We do not need to save. And everything is now in this folder. You're going to think that this is going to be hard to separate, but bear in mind you can just click type and I have all the 3D objects, all the 3DS files, BMP images. I have everything that I need in order right here. So the next step, and nearly the final step, is we are going to open Pcreator. I actually have it on the desktop right here. What this is going to do is we're going to be able to import our 3DS files in here and then export them as P files, and then we're basically finished. So we're going to click Open, and we are going to go to the desktop and New Cloud, and we're going to start at the chest. Now, once this is loaded, this doesn't use keyboard controls, this uses the mouse. The left click is to look around, the right click is to zoom in and out, and if you use, well, nothing happens if you use both. You can use the mouse wheel, but as you know, mine does not tend to like me today. So once you have opened your 3DS file in Pcreator, you're going to click this little drop down menu here and click Chest. You're going to go Options and tick the Texture Files box. You're also going to make sure that this is a field model, okay? And then we're going to go to View and UV Coords, and we're going to flip them on the Y-axis. I believe it's the Y-axis. I'm positive it's the Y-axis. We'll find out after this. So we'll close this and we go to File and Open Bitmap. And the bitmap we have is the cloud text that we're going to be using. There is a very specific way that you're going to have to do this. In fact, I'll show you this now because I almost had forgot about it. The cloud text that I was originally using was a PNG file, so I could use transparency because BMP files aren't very good with transparency. If you were to just take it into Paint or into GIMP, it doesn't seem to work if you can then convert it into a BMP file. Because Pcreator and Kimera need it to be a BMP file for it to work properly. I have a program here called PNG to BMP32. I will have a link in the description for this as well. All you've got to do is you double click it to open, and you literally drag and drop your PNG file here, and then it will make a new one for you. So after you have clicked File and you've opened your BMP, you click Save As. We are in our file, and it's going to be named Chest P. Save. And that's it. New, File, Open, Hair. Select Hair from the drop-down menu. Options is already a texture file and a field file. UV coords, we're going to flip on the Y. We're going to close it. We're going to go to File, Open Bitmap, Cloud Text, File, Save As, and it's already hair.p. New, File, Open, Head. Select the head, options, everything is the same, View, UV coords, flip them, close, File, Open Bitmap, Cloud Text, File, Save As, and Save. And once again, after the third time, I am now going to skip the video ahead because, again, you have to do this 15 to 16 different times, and there's no point you sitting watching me do it. So, again, I will talk to you momentarily. Okay, so just a quick reminder here, before I move on. I just got to the sword. When it comes to the weapons, I tend to always keep them on a different texture. I have added it to the original cloud text because at the time I did actually forget about this. I have the Buster texture right here. But I also have the original Buster Sword texture here as well. For some reason that's opening up in GIMP. But the reason that I would keep the weapons separate is because they have many different weapons. And it's helpful to have all of them weapons in separate textures in case you decide later on to make a dynamic weapons mod. Or when it comes to converting them to battle, it's also very important for that as well. If you're already at the point where your Buster Sword is on your cloud text, then don't worry about it too much. It's not going to cause any issues whatsoever. I'm just basically stating that for handiness, it is a good idea to have them as a separate thing. If you do have it as a separate option, one of the things you are going to have to do as well, other than flipping your coords, did I do that already? I am not too sure. No, I didn't. Okay, so I flipped my coords now. One of the things you're going to have to do is, once you open your bitmap, which is not showing up, okay, I guess this is a good opportunity to show you PNG to BMP. So I'm assuming that this is a PNG file. It is not even a PNG file, it's a DDS. Does it work anyway? No, okay, so it doesn't just work anyway. That's kind of a shame. But the workaround for that is I'm going to double click it to open it in GIMP. And I'm literally just going to, okay. Cannot open the DDS file. I am not sure why. Okay, I might not have the plugin for this, so here's an extra little thing that you can do, I suppose. If you go onto your Google, you are going to be able to type in convert DDS to PNG. And I would always use the top link here. I'm going to choose file. I'm going to select the desktop, new cloud, and where is the Buster Sword? Now why is it not? Oh no, it's not in this one, is it? It's in my Mobius cloud, Buster Sword. Convert file. Okay, so now it's downloaded. Right click it, show in folder. I'm going to drag it over to my new cloud. I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm going to open my PNG to BMP, drag and drop. And it has now created my new one. So there's my PNG, which is no longer needed. Because I got my Buster Sword right there. So I can now delete that one, close all this off, close this, and in here I can now select Buster Sword. But other than that, you're going to have to go to Texture ID and change it to 1, because it is not using the same texture as all the other pieces. And then, as usual, file save as blah. So again, I will chat to you in 2 seconds. Okay, so all of these are now finished. So I can close Pcreator, and in my, if I take a, I don't know why I still have this open either actually. Close this. If I now have a look in my new cloud, it is absolutely full of 3D objects, 3DS files. I've got a few BMPs, I have no idea what that one is. Okay. Don't know why that's necessary. Probably a bad thing. I might have missed one. All the material files and all the P files. These are now all that matters. But it is a very good idea to keep the rest of them as backups, just in case you did mess up on something, which I'm almost positive I did because of this texture here. So, the very last step. We're going to open Kimera. We're going to open a model, and you're going to navigate to a cloud model that you already have. If you remember earlier, I think it was the second video, we have the char folder. The char folder will contain all of the cloud files that you need. You can choose the very top one, aaaa.hrc. Well, you would if you were in Kimera, because AAA is cloud. If you're using the original cloud model because you don't have an updated one, then this is going to be a little difficult for you. So I don't have any real advice for that unless you are able to go onto the Quim forums. I will leave a link in the description. And you can download one there, and it will be solely used as a template for your new model. Because if you already have a good model here, then you're going to be able to basically copy what you see in front of you, rather than assuming what the height and such is going to be. Now I've opened this, I've just realised that I still have my Santa hats on from the Christmas special Jesse mod that I made. But oh well, that's okay. Now, also, that reminds me. One of the things I didn't show you about this new model, as well as everything mostly being flat textures in the normal everyday stuff. I mean, the Buster Sword is one of the few things that is not actually just flat. If you see here, I'm going to try and angle the camera a little better. If you look here, this is not a flat texture. This is completely bumped, and, you know, it's fantastic. But, as well as that, the straps on his top are actually a separate 3D thing as well. And it adds so much to the detail of the model. I mean, you can see here that it's, you know, you can see through, you can see his arm. It's really cool. I'm very happy with it. It's going to be far better than this original G-Bike model that we have here. So we're going to start off with the right foot. Now, this guy does have his model separated in a slightly different place to me. He has the top of his boot attached to the leg, but it's fine, it won't make any difference at all. So I'm going to double click his right foot. I understand that this is technically his left foot, but this whole video I have been doing it just from the way that he has been facing. If you are concerned about the controls for this, it is the same as Pcreator. You use the left mouse click and move around. Use the right mouse click and zoom in and out. You use both mouse click to move the model. And I don't think the mouse wheel does anything in this one. So, I'm going to double click his right foot. I'm going to click load P file. and I am going to navigate to my new cloud folder, where it has the right foot. Now, chances are, if you were like me, you left your model exactly the same size as it was when you downloaded it, and that's absolutely fine. Because the models that are in Kimera tend to be about 4 times the size, for some strange reason. I would show you, except with it being as small as it is, it's actually kind of hard to find again, and I can't double click it to get this box back open. So once you have your new foot selected, what you're going to do is over here in the resize area, you're going to type 400 in all 3 options. You're going to apply the changes, and you're going to do it again, and one more time. I believe it needs 3 times. So you apply the changes after every go, and now I'm going to click close. And no, it's absolutely massive. So, how do I get it to come back? You know what, I'll just open it again. Right foot, yes. Okay, so you only need to do this twice. 400, 400, 400. Apply. 400, 400, 400. Apply. And close, and now the foot is looking better. If you find that the foot is facing the completely wrong direction, what you've got to do is over here you have a rotation option, and it has the 3 different directions that you can rotate in. Now I'm going to, yep, it's this way that I've got to do it. It's going in the wrong direction, so I have to rotate this by 270. Okay, and then in this direction by 180. And that will turn it completely around. I can judge it against the foot right next to it. It looks absolutely fine to me. And then to texture it, oh, also, before you move on, once you've got it in the right place, double click it, apply changes, save as. You are constantly going to be wanting to save this, okay? Over the right foot, yes. Because Kimera has a very big habit, it tends to crash an awful lot, and I'm not sure why. I do have a few, they're not exactly fixes, but they help. And I will show you one of these right now, in fact, because I came across this so much when I was doing high quality models because it runs out of memory. Right click on your Kimera and open file location. And you will find a config file for Kimera. You're going to double click this, and I'm not sure what options I changed here. I'm fairly sure it was the top thing, the undo buffer capacity, which I have at 1. If anything, take a look at this and copy what I have exactly. Except for, you know, like these things, I suppose. The top one and the bottom 2, if they're not the same, make them the same. And it will help an awful lot. Okay, so back to Kimera. The way that we texture this, if you double click it and you highlight this group 0, because it's the only group in this imported thing, click on group properties, you'll see that the texture ID is 0, exactly the way we left it. And then over to the right here it says show texture options. And texture 0 is cloud text, which just happens to be the name of the texture that this one is using. So I'm going to click change texture. I am going to go to the desktop. I'm going to go to the desktop. I'm going to go into new cloud, and I'm going to choose my cloud text. And now the foot should have been, it should have been my one. Did I get the flip UV coords wrong? Because that's not good. It is definitely using texture ID 0. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just for the sake of it, open right foot, select right foot, view UV coords, flip on the X, close, file, open bitmap, cloud text, file, save as, right foot, yes. Okay, now let's have a look at this one. Load P file, right foot, we've got to make it 400, 400, 400, oops, 400, apply, 400, 400, 400, apply, close. Why, actually the original foot is still there. What is the deal with that? I'm just going to move this on the X. Oh no, okay, it's just that that other part. No. I'm a little confused here as to what is going on. Remove texture. Add texture. Cloud text. Oh, hold on. Is this the one that's using this? No, it's not. Okay, I'm absolutely baffled. I don't know what's going on right now. You know what? I'm going to test a different piece to see if all of them have messed up. Let's try... You know what? We'll try the head. Because why not? Load file. Head. Oh no! I messed up something. I messed up something. Back. Oh no. Okay. So, something that I messed. When it comes to having multiple pieces on the same thing, for instance, I have my head and my hair as separate objects. One of the things you're going to have to do is when you open your head, you're going to have to select your head as usual, UV coords and flip, and file, open bitmap. That's exactly the way it would usually be. But then you're going to drop the you're going to click the drop down menu and you're going to add a group, and you're going to pick hair. And then on the hair, you are then going to do the exact same thing. UV coords for the hair, flip, close, file, open bitmap, cloud text, file, save as. And this is now going to be the new head. Yes. So now we're in Kimera again, we have our head, we're going to double click it, load P file, and we're going to use our new head, which I'm going to make 400, 400, 400, apply, 400, 400, 400, apply, and close. Now, the reason you cannot see the head, other than the fact that I think it's down here, I believe, is most models actually tend to have two heads. This being that the blinking had a huge issue before. The blinking, the way it used to work was it would switch between one texture to another, whereas whenever we tried this, the head would just go invisible. So we had to put another identical head inside the original head, so when it decided to go invisible, it wouldn't actually, it wouldn't look invisible to begin with. So for some reason my head has started quite far down. I'm going to raise it up, but not quite that high. Even though I made this 400, it still seems very, very small. And for some reason the hair is not attached, and the texture is messed up. Oh no, okay, the texture is messed up because I have to choose my cloud text, boom, and text 1 group properties. Why are you invisible? I am unsure as to why my hair is invisible. I have absolutely no idea. So I do have a few kinks to work out. But all in all, I think you are going to have enough information right now to be able to get everything into Kimera and be able to mess around with it yourself for a little while. Something that's going to be very important if you're going to be messing around with this whilst waiting for the next video is you're going to need to know how to move pieces around effectively and efficiently. So what we're going to use for an example is the shoe. We're going to stick with the shoe for now. When you highlight the shoe, over here, as I said before, you have the rotation options for the X, Y, and Z axis. So you can come into here and type 20 and it will rotate in Z direction. Same with the other, and you get the idea when it comes to this. When it comes to moving it around, it is the option right above it that says reposition. If you were to drag it up on the X-axis, it will move over to the right. The Y-axis is up and down, and the Z-axis is back and forward. As well as this, if for some reason it is too small and you want to adjust it in here rather than opening it and doing it the other way, for some reason I'm having an error opening, whatever, you can also adjust it through this. These things do tend to make it crash for whatever reason. I have absolutely no clue. But using these three things, you'll be able to move your stuff around and it will be absolutely fine. I am going to be talking about animations in the next video, but just so you have something you're going to be able to do in the meantime, I highly advise to click this little option here for Show Bones. Now, the little squares on the end of the bones, if I zoom out, you better see the whole model. You're going to want to aim for your piece to essentially be exactly at the beginning point of that bone. Otherwise, animations will be very, very difficult. See how it's basically in the center of the bounding box. This is the bounding box that we were speaking about before. It's perfectly aligned with the piece that you're using. If you want to try and mess around with animations, I'll give you a little bit of showing now just to see. Cloud does not have... This is the animation here. The character only has one animation right now, for me at least. You will have more. You'll be able to load field animation. And actually I do have quite a few more. I have my AAFA, which is my walk. So if you want to be able to do this yourself, you can highlight the area. In the bottom right here, you can click Show Frame Options. And this will rotate it in the X, Y, and Z. No difference to the rotation over here, except when you move it on this one, it is only for this frame. And yes, whenever you do animations, you have to move every piece individually, frame by frame. This animation has... It's got 29, but 0 is counted in as well, so it essentially has 30 frames. You're going to have to move every piece 30 different times. And it is absolutely horrible, believe me. So hopefully with that little bit of information there, you'll be able to do something in the spare time whilst waiting for my next video, which I absolutely promise will not be as long as this one took. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. I am going to leave it here because this has been a surprisingly long video, and it would seem I have a few errors to go and work out off screen. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like on this video because it turns out that likes and comments help a lot more than everybody thought they did. My videos will not appear on people's news feeds as an important video unless it has a certain amount of likes. So there are plenty of other people out there exactly like you looking for tutorials like this, and you can help them find it by just leaving a like on the video. That's all it takes. Feel free to subscribe to the channel so you can be up to date with when new videos are uploaded, and I really hope to see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.